Okay, this episode was a little spicy. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to another episode of my recap of 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. This is season 4, episode 4, A Necessary Break. Please click the link below and head on over to Teespring to look in my store and see if there's anything you like. Let's jump right into this episode. And as always, we are not going to be talking about Ashley and Jay, and we're going to start with the most boring couples. So first, let's start with Pao and Russ. I think it was 90 Day Fiancé News. They posted on Instagram a breakdown of which couples are still together from every single season and every single franchise of 90 Day Fiancé. It turns out that Pao and Russ are from season 1 of 90 Day Fiancé. I had no idea. I thought they were from like season 3. They have been riding the 90 Day Fiancé coattail for so long, for 5 years, because they've been married for 5 years. Anyways, so they're still in Oklahoma. Last week we had the baby shower, which did not go over well, and so Russ has a secret that he hasn't told to Pao, and that is that he has some kind of job offer ready for him in Oklahoma City. And so he wants to get with his family because he feels like if Pao can just mesh with his family well, then he can convince her to move back to Oklahoma. We all know that this is not going to work, but Russ wants to give it the old college try. So he sits down with his parents and he tells them basically, I would like for you guys to speak with Pao because I have a job offer and I would like to move back to Oklahoma, but you guys need to mend this fence. Patty, who is Russ's mom, is like, well, what do we need to do? She really doesn't want to have to do anything because from their perspective, they feel like they've done everything they can to make Pao feel welcome, and Pao is resistant, that she has this wall up. The dad admits that when she first got there, no, they didn't think that they were going to make it, and that they thought that she was there for nefarious reasons, that she was just there to only get her citizenship. Why can't the foreigner love and respect the American, but then still want to come to America? What is so wrong with wanting to come to America and finding someone that you can deal with? He was in Colombia. He met her in Colombia, and they got along well in Colombia, and then they decided to move here and get married, and their resistance to that is what she picked up on when she first moved here. And I don't really think there's anything that they could do to make Pao feel welcome because they have already done the damage. And I understand that you should be able to give people a second chance, but I wouldn't if I were Pao. If I moved to a foreign country and that family that I came to live with was judging me at every turn, I would never feel comfortable with them again because first impressions last, and that's what's happening. Not saying that Pao is in the right and that her putting the wall up is okay, but as the house that she was living in, as the home base, I think that it was their responsibility to be more accommodating and open and loving to her, especially because their son brought her there. It's not like she just showed up. The son is the one who's doing it. So if they needed to be mad at anybody, they should have been mad at him. And it's also crazy that they had fights in front of the family too, so also that didn't help. If whenever Russ and Pao got into an argument, Russ sat down and had a conversation with his mom or dad about it, that didn't help the situation either. It's the same thing that's happening with Chantal and Pedro. The American parties are going back and having personal conversations with their families about how they're feeling about this relationship. Your family is always going to take your side. So if you want them to not go on the roller coaster of emotions that you go through with your spouse, you can't tell them the things that happen within your home. And I think that is a huge issue. Later on, Pao ends up having a one-on-one with Patty, and they almost start to get somewhere, but Patty again is resistant. She's standing upon her moral and judgmental high ground. And when someone is just like, listen, I'm right, you're wrong, but I still love you anyway, it still doesn't make the person who's wrong want to come into your sphere because they know you truly don't respect them and aren't genuine in your feelings. Like now they want her around and stuff only because she's pregnant. So I saw Patty attempting to bridge a gap, but I think when you're so conservative dealing with someone who's so not conservative, the person who's out living their lives, minding their own business, is always going to feel judged. I don't think that they're ever going to be besties, but you know, who cares? This is so boring. Okay, so the next couple that we're going to talk about is Nicole and Azan. So we only got a little bit of Nicole, and we didn't get any of Azan this episode. And Nicole is meeting with her good Judy, let's call her Jennifer, don't know her name. But she was the same person who Nicole took to try on dresses with and who Nicole had that breakdown with about, the dresses and whatnot. Like, Nicole has done so much during the series, yet the yield has been zero. Like, she has been doing all of this, like trying on clothes, looking at venues, like planning for there to just be no outcome. She is homeless right now, living with her sibling. Nothing is going well for her. She's managed to have her best Judy thinking that Azan is a good guy. She wants to keep it that way because she feels like her best friend is the only person that's in her corner and supports her. So her best friend also feels the same way. She also feels like, you know what, even if she does have reservations about Azan or concerns, she's not going to tell Nicole because Nicole is getting it from all sides, and she feels that she needs to be that person that Nicole can be honest with and talk to about stuff. But Nicole is not being honest with her girl. So they're sitting down at a bar. They're just talking about Azan and the wedding and what happened and what didn't happen. And so Nicole is giving her like the bright side of things sort of conversation and talking about how her family still doesn't support it, and they had all these questions and they're just not taking her word for it. Jennifer is like, well, I can definitely see their concerns. However, like, I heard he cheated on you. Like, what was that? And Nicole's like, there was nothing. Oh yeah, I remembered that happened. That's so last year, and was like literally nothing on the radar, and I don't even think about it. I don't think about it at all. It's like, oh, you just reminded me. And her friend's like, well, I mean, I heard that he was talking to another girl. And Nicole is like, he didn't cheat physically. I don't even really remember what happened. It was like, there might have been like a conversation, but again, it's all in the past. Don't want to think about it. We've gotten over it. He's given me I've given him a second chance. So we're fine now. In that one moment when she accidentally said, or almost started to say, he's given me a second chance, that is so telling, because what I gleaned from that is that at the end of the day, Nicole feels like she has hit the jackpot by getting with Azan. So regardless of the fact that he was talking to somebody or he was like emotionally cheating on her, she's like, well, now he's back and he's gonna give me a second chance, and now I have to be better than ever. I don't know, girl. I really don't know, but that's what I gleaned from that like Freudian slip. Also, I was a little worried about her friend because she's wearing a wig, and so I was like worried and concerned if she might have had like chemo or something. I hope her friend is okay. Let's talk about Larissa and Colty. Colty and Larissa go to have a celebratory dinner at, looks like, the Olive Garden. They're talking about their relationship. Colt said that he wants Larissa to step up and be his partner. Larissa says that she wants to feel like Colt is on her team. So they are both saying the same thing. They just both can't manage to align. He feels that whenever she's expressing herself emotionally or excitedly, that she's being dramatic and that she's not being an adult, which I think is a little bit dismissive of her feelings. She can still say what she needs to say in an excited manner, and it is still just as valid as Colt saying something in a very calm, monotone voice with like a dip up of his glasses. I don't understand why he feels like when he's talking about how he feels that he's being more of an adult, and that when she says something that he looks down on her for the way she says it as opposed to just listening to what she says. I don't like that about Colt. It feels manipulative and it feels like it's gaslighting. Larissa's rolling her eyes a lot of the times through the conversation that they're having, and I'm not sure why, but he's like, we just survived the apocalypse, and she's just like, meanwhile she has like food coming out of her mouth from that Alfredo that is very greasy. He says that he would move heaven and earth for her, and I'm like, you literally won't even move your physical body out of the bed for her. I can't imagine you moving anything. Heaven, hell, earth, your hand up to open the door. Like, I don't understand what you say that you'll move heaven and earth for her, but you called the police on her. There's so much that Larissa has said, and he's done none of those things for her. So I believe that he will not move anything for her, not even to pass her the salt at dinner table. Like, I don't think that Colt will do anything for Larissa. Larissa says that the main thing that they need to do is set boundaries, that she's apologized to Debbie for being rude, but they need to set boundaries so that she can feel like Colt is on her side. Colt says that it doesn't need to be him versus her versus his mom. If he felt that Larissa wanted to connect with him, then I guess that he would be more connecting with her and more on her side when she gets into arguments with Debbie. Then they move on to have a conversation about money, and Larissa says that she would like $1,000 a month, and he says, no, we can't do $1,000, but I can look at our budget and decide about getting you a prepaid credit card. And she's like, yeah. So she throws out $1,000, and he's like, and she's like, 300, and he's like, somewhere in between there. And then she's like, 200, and I'm like, girl, no, you went down. You weren't supposed to go down. You just settled at 300. But she says that she's a great negotiator, and her strategy was to throw out a crazy number so that she could get some kind of number at the end of it. And if she wasn't getting money from him this whole time, and now getting $200 is a move up for her, then I support it. $200 in 30 days? What is that? What is that math? $200? Like she's a teenager going to high school. That's like allowance. What is 200 divided by, let's just say 28. That's $7.14 a day. What? Am I a child? Let's see if you can manage $200 in 30 days. What? So then later, they go to a place where you can get your lips filled and like filler stuff in your face. It's called Flawless. It's in Vegas. Check it out. As they all want us to know. She asks the receptionist like how much it would cost for, you know, whatever cc or syringe of whatever. I don't know the word and terminology with lip injections or fillers. I don't know any of that stuff. But anyways, it ends up being like $430. Colt agrees to pay it. I didn't feel like it was that much personally. If it's something that you really want done, like $430, like it wasn't that much money to me. I don't know. I feel like he should give her $1,000 a month. So anyways, that's where I'm at. He ended up paying for it, which is like, thank God. And girl, I was like, she doesn't need lip fillers. And then she got them and I was like, oh no, that looks good. That was good. Así me gusta. If you smile and your top lip disappears and you want to get fillers, I'm in full support of your choices, you know? It looked good on her. And even Colt was like, oh, wow, you look great, honey. And I'm like, yeah, give her more money to do more stuff. If you want your pee-pee sucked and I get my lip fillers, and he's like, I don't understand the correlation. And I was like, because our lips will be fuller, it might feel better. Duh, Colty. And then afterwards he was like, oh, yep, I see the correlation now. Larissa gets what she wants and I'm happy. I'm always happy when the queen gets what she wants. The next couple that we're going to talk about is Andrei and Libby. This couple got me so annoyed this episode. I don't understand quite what's going on. So let me explain to you what I think is happening. Libby already knows that there's contention between herself, her family, and her husband. Yet when she has an issue with her husband, she runs off to tell her siblings, which does not make any sense. So she's at her sister Jen's house. Okay, they're at Jen's house and she walks in like, so frustrated. And Jen's like, what's up? Well, she makes a little ass sandwich. Elizabeth's like, Dad and Andrei, they keep fighting and I don't want to be in the middle of it anymore. And then now Andrei just wants to move out. And Jen's like, what? Like, how are you guys gonna move out? Y'all don't have any money. Libby's like, I know, but Andrei is upset because of the things that Dad was saying. Like, Dad was saying that we don't care about the house and we're taking advantage of him. And I went back and told Andrei that, even though I didn't have to. And it got Andrei upset and he wants to just move out now, but we don't have the money to move out. So I think I'm gonna have to ask Dad for the money to move out. And Jen is like, well, I don't understand why Andrei doesn't understand that we are your family and that he came to the US to move into our family, not the other way around. So he just needs to like relax and calm down. This is what I don't get. They're mad at Elizabeth for marrying this man who can't take care of her. They're mad at Elizabeth for the choices that she's made dealing with Andrei. And they have said things to her, said things to him that have made them both feel like the family is not on their side. But whenever she gets upset or frustrated, she runs back to the family to tell them all about Andrei and what he's doing and not doing. But it's this weird line she's trying to toe. I feel like Libby is the reason why all of these people aren't getting along. If she didn't run back and tell them what was happening in her marriage, then they would never know. If they just had like a united front with understanding how they were going to move forward and live their life in America, I think that things would be better. Why did she have to go back and tell Andrei anything? It was like I don't understand why she did that, okay? Then when he had a reaction that she wasn't expecting, she then tried to backpedal and be like, it's not my fault. It's between you and my dad. It's like, no, it's between you and your family. So then Jen's like, well, yeah, you guys can't move. You're gonna have to ask dad for more money, and I don't understand. You guys are just gonna back out of what you said you were gonna do. And she's like, I know. And I'm just like, what? Okay, what did you say you were gonna do? It wasn't clear to the studio audience exactly what was going on. So apparently Andrei and Libby are living in that house so that Andrei can work on the house, make it ready to be rented out. And so that's why when he drove by and he saw that the lawn wasn't done, that he was upset. That to me makes even more sense, is that he's got them there doing work on the house. And now that he's made a complaint about the way that they're managing it, they're moving out. And he's upset now because now the work that he's contracted Andrei to do is not going to get done. Elizabeth said that the work is going to get done. So anyways, I'm moving ahead of myself. In conclusion with the conversation that she had with her sister was like, tell Andrei to calm down. Andrei just needs to acclimate himself to our way of life, especially because he can't afford to give my sister the lifestyle that she's used to. Then the next scene is Libby talking to her dad on the phone and asking her dad for money. Basically saying, we're moving out of the house because of the drama and you and Andrei can't get it together. I have nothing to do with this. He doesn't like that you are holding us hostage or holding a knife over our heads with this house, so we're gonna move out. And the dad's like, what? Like, I contracted you to do this thing and you're gonna move out? Not only have I lost out on money on the rent because you guys are living there rent free, but now I have to hire a contractor, pay more money for that contractor to come in and finish the work that Andrei was supposed to do. And then you want me to give you money to move into your new apartment? And she's like, yeah, I mean, it would just be really helpful. Like, we don't have the money to do it. And Andrei really just wants to move out. Like, he doesn't want to live there anymore. And he's just like, that pisses me off. And she's like, well, it's not my fault. It is your fault. So anyways, her dad, the big enabler, ends up giving her the money, and she goes home and tells Andrei that she got some kind of bonus at work. And he's gonna tell the production crew that, you know, Elizabeth has been working hard at work and she's going to get raises. And so we are able to, like, shut up, Andrei. You don't believe that she got a raise at work. You know her dad is the one who pays her, right? After that, so Andrei has an interview with a staffing trucking agency, and he goes there with shorts and boat shoes on. So I was like, oh, okay, you don't even like wear slacks and like a polo, like nothing, with a water bottle, no resume, nothing. Him and Nicole are the same type of idiot. He goes in there like, yeah, I'm the man, you know, you should hire me. I don't really need anything from you, but a full-time position. And the lady is like, okay, what is your experience? You know, great. Where are you from? Have you done any trucking there? How much trucking have you done here? Oh, only a month. Well, we normally don't hire on full-time for people who don't have at least 6 months of experience. So we can put you on call. And he's like, well, how much will I make on call? And she's like, you know, well, it would be 30 cents a mile and you could work anywhere from 1 day to 26 days. This is not good enough for Andrei, okay? He is too good for that situation. Even though he has a wife that's expecting and he wants to move out, and any kind of money, any kind of position where money is going to be given you if you do a service makes the most sense, regardless of how lowly it might feel. But when you have bills to pay, you should just accept a job. Hell, Andrei should be working at Home Depot. I don't understand why he just doesn't get a fucking minimum wage job so they have some kind of income coming in. They're not making that much from 90 Day Fiancé. So dumb. The recruiter is like, well, we need to know, you know, if you want to be put on call or not. And he's like, I'm going to talk to my wife. You know, these are this is like a group decision. And I'm like, since when is anything that pertains to this family a group decision? You have been hammering down the law since you guys first got together. And now you want to tell the recruiter that it's a family decision and that you'll let them know? And she's like, yeah, please let me know. And he's like, well, what if you call me and I say, no, I can't do the job? She's like, well, you know, we want people who can do the job. If I call you, I'm expecting you to be able to do it. And he's like, but what if? Will you take me off the roster? And she doesn't exactly want to say, yes, I'll take you off the roster. But he forces her to be like, yeah, yes, I will take you off the roster if when I call you, you say no. So he's like, thank you for your time, and he leaves or whatever. I'm just like, he's such an idiot. Then there's a scene with him in the thrift store, and she's like, I've never, shopped at a thrift store before. This is all producer setup. So they go into the thrift store and they start to fight because Andrei is being uppity about the things that are in the thrift store because he's like, we should go somewhere else and buy clothes. These are secondhand clothes. And she's like, do you got firsthand money? No, you don't got firsthand money. So don't come at me with we're in a secondhand store right now. And she's feeling some kind of pressure because A, she had to borrow money from her dad, and B, she's lied to Andrei about it. And then Andrei tells her, that he's gonna leave trucking because it's not what he thought. And she's like, we already paid all that money for you to go to trucking school. You better get in a damn truck. And he's like, don't talk to me that way. And she's like, look, I'm not talking to you any kind of way. I'm telling you what is best for our family. But now you want to tell me that you know what's best for our family. So fine, you do it then, fine. And I was just really proud of her because I was like, no, you need to take him home and you need to have a screaming match with him about how things are going to go down because he clearly doesn't understand what is needed. And he just needs to get a job doing something. They are both being so dumb. Anyways, that's the end of them. I just don't understand what's happening. The reason why it's confusing is because Libby doesn't know what side she's on. She still wants the help and the support of her family, but she knows that if she sides with her husband 100%, she's gonna have to say no to all that help and support, and then they're gonna be sad and poor. And she doesn't want that. So she wants them to get along, but that's not gonna happen because Andrei's too proud and doesn't have a pot to piss in, and her father is like, I'll sell you a pot. Okay, so the next couple that we're gonna talk about and the last couple that we're gonna talk about is Chantal and Pedro. Here's an announcement. I'm not gonna watch Family Chantel because there's gonna be way too much good television to watch, and if Family Chantel is anything like their segments of 90 Day Fiancé and or her family's antics and River's rap career, I for sure don't wanna fucking watch it. So I might watch it, but I'm definitely not gonna review it. This couple makes me so sad because I root for them, and Pepe is not happy with his wife, okay? Not. Their segment begins with him packing for the Dominican Republic and Chantel walking in and picking a fight with him. I know that he wasn't responsive and that he was being like standoffish, but I feel like it's because he just doesn't want to argue with her anymore. Like he doesn't want to fight with her, and so he just like doesn't really say much to her. So she sits down next to him and she's like, I don't understand why you have to go by yourself, but since you have to go by yourself, don't let your family talk shit about me. And I just feel like you get over there and they start to talk about me and you don't defend me. And he's like, but first of all, if what they're saying is true, is one thing, and two, your family does the exact same thing and you do the exact same thing with your family. And she's like, you just get around them, and I'm just like, oh my god. The fact is that she had the audacity and the gall to say that to him when she full on goes to her family and talks shit about him, and then only feels some type of way when they start busting out tasers and talking about they can be anywhere in the world. That's when she's like, well, okay, I understand why my husband doesn't want to be over here with this nonsense. Yeah, girl, your family's not any better. And from what we've seen on TV, his family has been nothing but accommodating. Even though they've called them stupid Americans and they've said all the things that they've said, when they have been in front of Chantel, they have been nice and cordial to her. And she has been the one that's been awkward and weird with them. Even when they were having the conversation about her not being sure if she wanted to marry Pedro, like she got upset and called the sister a stupid ass whore when the sister didn't say shit to her. So to me, Family Chantel is more at fault in this whole situation than Family Pedro. She ends up calling him an asshole, and he's just like, oh, okay, so that's what you say to me? That's what you say to me before I get on a flight and leave? Like, okay, whatever. And she's like, yeah, you're being an asshole. And she gets up and walks away. And I'm just like, I don't understand why you just don't try to make peace with this man. Like, just stop blaming him for him and your brother's fight and just be like, you know what, babe? I understand that my family did this to you. Even if she doesn't believe it. I understand that my family did this to you, but for me, can you just try again? I'm really sorry, and I'll do my best to be better with your family too. Someone needs to be the bigger person, and I think it needs to be Chantel, but she really is like, I'm a princess and I don't understand why I can't have what I want. And I think that she says stuff and does stuff, and then when the outcome is something that she really doesn't want, that's when she's feeling some type of way. Point in case, the next day she gets up very early to take him to the airport, and he doesn't want to talk to her the whole way there. She keeps saying like, oh, I love you, and you know, please come back to me and all this stuff, and he's just like, I don't want to fight with her. I just want to get on this plane and go about my business. And she's like, I'm gonna miss you, I'm gonna be by myself. And he's like, you got the cat. And I knew then that Pedro was beyond conversation. Could you imagine a scenario in which you tell your significant other that you're gonna miss them and that you're gonna be by yourself, and their response is, you're not gonna be by yourself, you have the cat. Yo, this shit is so fucking crazy. He gets his stuff out of the car, doesn't even come to her door, open her door and like hug her before he leaves. He literally treats her like she's an Uber, and he just gets his shit and gets into the airport. Like, I'm so worried for them. Anyway, so he gets to the DR. His mom's got a cute little haircut. Sister's really excited to see him. And they're excited that Chantel's not there. And honestly, if I were them, I would be excited that Chantel's not there either. They want to spend time with their brother. And the last time Nicole saw Chantel, Chantel's family attacked. Okay, so... And all the mother could do was hear about it. Like, could you imagine sending your kid to another country and then your other child's spouse's family attacks you and then starts yelling for immigration? Like, come on. Their family has so much more of a cause to be annoyed with family Chantel than anything else. Like, it's crazy. So they hug and they tell him that he looks mad solid, that he's gotten a little thick, and he's like, come on, man, leave me alone. And they take him home and they toast, and they're kind of talking about it, and the sister and the mom say, like, we're glad that Chantel didn't come here, but if you choose to get back with her and like mend things, we will support you either way it goes, but you shouldn't be in this relationship. Like, we shouldn't see you this sad. You look really unhappy, and we're worried for you. It also turns out that apartment, like, Pedro is fully paying for that apartment. So they're like, this is your apartment too. This is your home too. You can always, you know, move back here. And I'm just like, damn, like, I get Chantel being frustrated about that. And I'm glad that she doesn't know that he fully pays for the apartment. But as long as he can pay his US bills and give his parents money, like, I'm okay with it for now. And I think they need to have a conversation if they do want to have children. So anyways, I just really feel bad for them, and I feel bad for Chantel, and I don't want them to break up, and I think that he's gonna make a huge mistake next episode based on the previews, and you know, it sucks or whatever, but I think that he's really in a depression. He's been living with this person who has been blaming him for family problems for so long, so like, I understand where he's coming from. Alright, you guys, so that's the end of this episode. Please leave a comment down below. Let's have a kiki and a conversation in the comment section and let me know what you guys thought. Don't forget to check out my merch, and don't forget to check out my Game of Thrones video, which is coming up, or which is up already, and see what I thought about that. Guys, so I have some, you know, videos that you can watch here and here, so go on ahead and check those videos out, and remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye.